I was 2 beers into my night and halfway through a rerun of Forged in Fire when Mallory came out of the bedroom with that look. The one that meant she'd been overthinking something for way too long. She sat down on the edge of the couch, not even looking at me at first. Her fingers were curled tight around her phone. I paused the TV. "What's up?" She exhaled like I just asked her to fix the national debt. "I've been thinking about us," she said. "About the future. Marriage. Kids. All of it." I leaned back. "Okay, where's this going?" She turned to face me, serious now. "We've been together 3 years. Living together for, what, 18 months? I'm almost 30. If we're really building something, I need to know you're in. All the way." "Yeah," I said slowly. "I thought I was." "What are you saying?" She swallowed hard. "I can't move forward until I clear my debt. It's crushing me, Rick. 34 grand from vet school. I've tried to manage it, but it's just holding me back." I set my beer down. "Mallory, I get it, but we've talked about money. You cover groceries and internet, I handle the mortgage. That's already a fair split." "This is different," she snapped. "This isn't about day-to-day. It's about the rest of our lives. If you really loved me, you'd help me clear it." I blinked. "You want me to pay off your loans?" "I'm not asking you to hand me a check tomorrow," she said quickly. "But yeah, help me get out from under it. It's the only way I can think about buying a house, having a baby, any of it." I sat forward. "Why don't we look into refinancing? Or sit down with someone to budget? There's other ways to." Her voice jumped. "If you loved me, you'd just pay it." That hit me sideways. Not just the words, but the way she said them. Like love meant handing over cash, no questions asked. I stared at her. "Then let me see the paperwork. I need to know what I'm paying for." Her eyes narrowed. "You don't trust me?" "I didn't say that." "Yes, you did. You just did. If you trusted me, you wouldn't need proof." She stood up so fast the couch rocked. "Forget it. Just forget it. Mallory." But she was already walking down the hall, slamming the bedroom door behind her. I sat there in silence, the glow of the paused TV still flickering. My stomach was tight, like I just swallowed something sharp. I woke up the next morning to the smell of bacon and fresh coffee, like nothing ever happened. Mallory was in the kitchen, flipping eggs, wearing one of my old t-shirts. She smiled when she saw me. "Morning, babe," she said. "Coffee's hot. You want 2 or 3 eggs?" I blinked. Two's fine." She leaned in, kissed me on the cheek, and went right back to the stove like last night didn't even happen. No mention of the fight. No follow-up. Not a damn word. It messed with my head more than if she'd still been pissed. I sat down at the table, watching her move around the kitchen like we were in some commercial for normal couples. She handed me a plate, poured my coffee, and started talking about her schedule for the day. A work meeting, a trip to Petco, something about her friend needing help moving. I nodded through it, but my brain wasn't really listening, because none of it made sense. Over the past couple months, I'd noticed things. Small stuff at first. A weird Venmo request here. Some cash missing from the drawer we used for tips and pizza money. A package showing up with makeup or random crap she'd swear she was returning later. But it never left the apartment. There were also emergencies. Her car battery. Her friend's birthday dinner she forgot about. The dog she swore was sick and needed an overnight vet stay. But no receipts, no paperwork, and no dog ever came into our house. It had all seemed annoying but harmless. Until now. That night, I called my buddy from work, Josh. He went through a rough divorce a couple years back. Wife drained his bank account, maxed out credit cards, left him paying for a lease she'd let her brother wreck. "You got a minute?" I asked. "Always. What's up?" I gave him the short version, the debt, the guilt trip, the weird vibe. Josh didn't even hesitate. "Hire a financial investigator," he said flat out. "Get the truth before you give her a damn dime." "Is that even a real thing?" I asked. He laughed. "Oh, it's real. And worth every penny." So that weekend I found one. Guy named Marcus Booker. Private forensic accountant out of Tacoma. Ex-IRS. Now freelances for people like me who are just trying not to get screwed. We met in his office. Small room, old carpet, no-nonsense guy in his late 40s with folders stacked like bricks. "What do you need me to find out?" he asked, straight to the point. "My girlfriend says she owes 34 grand in student loans. Vet school. Says it's holding her back and wants me to help pay it." He nodded. "And you want to verify the debt before you agree to anything?" "Exactly. Good call." I slid a manila envelope across the table. Her full name, birthday, the school she went to, what she says she owes when she says she took it out. Everything I know. Marcus didn't ask dumb questions. Just opened the file, took a quick glance and said, "Give me 3 business days." Driving home, I felt like crap, like I was betraying her. But there was this pit in my gut I couldn't shake. Something about how fast she flipped the script, from love to leverage, had set off every alarm I had. That night, she curled up next to me on the couch, scrolling through her phone while we watched a movie. She rested her head on my shoulder, laughed at the dumb jokes, even offered me some of her popcorn like nothing had changed. But everything had, because now I couldn't stop wondering what else she was hiding. The next morning, I checked my bank account like I always do. Still stable. No random transfers. But I looked deeper, scanned the last 60 days. There were 4 ATM withdrawals I didn't recognize. All for round amounts, 200, 300, then 250, another 300. Spread out just enough to not look crazy. But I knew I hadn't made them. They weren't from my card. But she had her own, tied to the joint grocery account we used. I had access to the dashboard. That's when I saw it. Every one of those cash pulls came the day before a student loan payment she'd mentioned in passing. Except now, I wasn't so sure that money was going to any student loans at all. 3 days later, I was under a rig at the shop, trying to break loose a rusted bolt, when my phone buzzed in my back pocket. I wiped my hands, pulled it out, and saw Marcus's name. I stepped outside to take it, boots crunching gravel. "Hey," I answered, heart already beating harder than it should have. "You got something?" "I do," Marcus said. "And it's not what you were told." I walked around the side of the building, away from the noise. "All right, hit me." He didn't waste a second. "Mallory has exactly $7,100 in federal student loans. All in deferment. No payments due until next year." I blinked. "That's it?" "Yep. The rest of what she owes, 27,000 and some change, is a personal auto loan she took out 4 years ago." My stomach dropped. "Wait, what?" "It's for a 2016 Dodge Charger. Loan originated under her name. No cosigner." I ran the plates. Registered driver is Cody Langston. I leaned against the wall, felt the breath go out of me. "Cody?" I asked. "Her ex Cody?" "Same guy. Lives in Spokane. 2 insurance claims tied to that car, both under his name. Both accidents his fault. The insurance policies under his address." I felt like I was going to throw up. "Mallory's making the payments?" "Every month," Marcus said. $520. Always on time. But here's the kicker, before each payment clears, there's a consistent cash withdrawal from her checking account. Usually between $250 and $400. Every damn time. I rubbed my face hard. So she's pulling cash before the payment hits, right? Looks like she's giving him the difference in cash and using the account to cover the rest. It's structured enough to be a pattern. No coincidence. Everything clicked. The emergencies. The odd withdrawals. The guilt tripping. That 34 grand she claimed was vet school debt? All for a car her ex was driving. "She's been paying for this guy's Charger for 4 years?" I said, voice sharp. "Yup. While living with me. In my house." Marcus sighed. "Look, I see this more than you'd think. Ex manipulates, guilt trips, maybe threatens her credit, maybe pretends he'll pay her back. But she's the one on the hook." I stared out at the field across the lot. Wind kicked up dust and dead leaves. I felt like I'd been punched straight through the chest. "You okay?" Marcus asked. "No," I said. "Not really. Want me to send you the full breakdown?" "Yeah. Email everything." We hung up. I stood there a few more seconds, phone hanging in my hand like dead weight. My legs felt shaky. My brain was on fire. Mallory had been lying through her damn teeth. Not just about the money, about everything. Every month I thought I was building a life with someone. And meanwhile, I was helping bankroll her ex's muscle car and his busted credit. I walked back into the shop, didn't say a word, just grabbed my tools and started working again. But my hands were shaking so bad I stripped the next bolt. That night, Mallory was in the living room with her laptop open, playing some dumb quiz game and giggling at her screen. "Babe," she said without looking up, "do you think I'm more of a chaotic good or neutral evil?" I looked at her and saw red, but I didn't say a word. Not yet. I needed everything in writing first. Proof. I wanted it airtight before I tore her lies apart. So I walked past her, straight to the fridge, grabbed a beer and said, "Not sure. Probably chaotic something." She laughed like we were fine, like everything was normal. But inside, I was already done with her. 2 days later, I left work early and drove straight home. No warning. I didn't call. I didn't text. I was done playing nice. When I walked through the front door, I heard music playing low and that high-pitched laugh that always made my skin crawl. Bria, Mallory's best friend. The one who didn't take sides but always took hers. They were on the couch, half a bottle deep into some cheap wine, both wearing leggings and socks, like it was a middle school sleepover. Bria had a full glass in her hand, legs tucked under her. Mallory looked up and froze mid-laugh. "Oh," she said, "you're home early." "Yeah," I said flat. "We need to talk. Now, in private." Bria scoffed. "Whatever you have to say, you can say it in front of me." "No," I snapped. "This is between me and her. Out." Mallory looked at me, then at Bria. She hesitated, then nodded. "It's fine," she said. "Can you give us a minute?" Bria rolled her eyes and stood up slow, like she wanted me to beg. "Text me," she said, grabbing her purse and giving me the dirtiest look on her way out. I waited until the front door clicked shut before I spoke. "I talked to someone," I said. "Hired a forensic accountant." Mallory's eyes flickered. "What?" "Marcus Booker. You might have heard of him now that he's emailed me every detail about your so-called debt." She shifted on the couch, her voice going quiet. "Rick, you lied." I cut in. "You have $7,100 in student loans. In deferment. Not 34 grand. She stared at me, mouth opening and closing like she couldn't decide which lie to try first. "And the rest," I went on. "That's not school debt. That's a personal loan. For a Dodge Charger. Registered to Cody. Your ex." Her face went pale. She tried to speak again, but I kept going. "Insurance? Under his address. Accident claims? Both his fault. And the payments? You've been pulling cash before they hit, like clockwork. You think I wouldn't notice?" Her voice cracked. He told me if I didn't keep up the loan, it'd ruin my credit. He said he'd stop if I helped him get on his feet again. I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared. I crossed my arms. So instead, you asked me to pay it off. Told me it was school loans. Guilt tripped me with, 'If you loved me.'" Tears started falling. "I didn't mean for it to get this far. I swear. He manipulated me." He begged. I tried to say no. "Are you still in touch with him?" She hesitated just a second too long. "As a friend," she said softly. "We don't talk like that anymore." I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, and shoved it in her face. Cody, grinning like a jackass, standing next to the charger with his arm across the roof. Caption: "Can't thank my girl enough for keeping me riding." Mallory blinked, silent. "Still just a friend, huh?" I said. Her shoulders slumped. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this." I took a step back. "Pack your shit." She shot up. "Rick, no, come on. We can fix this." "No. You don't lie to someone like that and get to fix it. We're done." She wiped her face with both hands, breathing hard. "You can't just throw me out. I live here too." "No, you don't. You're not on the deed. You're not on a lease. You've got 30 minutes. Her voice turned sharp. "You'll be hearing from a lawyer." I didn't even flinch. "Good. Let them know you've been siphoning money to your ex behind my back." She looked at me like I'd slapped her. I turned and walked to the kitchen. Behind me, I heard her grab her phone and stomp down the hall. She didn't leave right away. Took her maybe 2 hours to gather her stuff, and even then she kept pacing the hallway like she was waiting for me to change my mind. I didn't. After the front door slammed for the last time, I locked it, leaned against the wall, and let out a breath I didn't even know I'd been holding. By the next morning, the text started. 8:02 a.m. I can't believe you threw away everything over one mistake. 9:17 a.m. You said you loved me. 11:06 a.m. Hope you enjoy being alone in that dead-end house. By lunchtime, it flipped again. 12:44 p.m. Please just talk to me. You don't know the whole story. 2 p.m. You're a coward. I should have left you months ago. Over the next few days, it was like whiplash. Apologies mixed with threats, long paragraphs about betrayal, all caps rants about how I was a control freak and emotionally abusive. I didn't answer a single one. Then she crossed the line. Tuesday, just before noon, she showed up at my work. Security buzzed me from the front. Said I had a fiancé there with lunch. That word alone made my stomach turn. I walked up front. Sure enough, there she was, standing there with a plastic bag from some sandwich shop and that same manipulative smile she used to use to get out of parking tickets. "Can we talk?" she said, acting like it was just some lover's quarrel. "Nope," I said. "You're trespassing." She blinked. "Are you serious right now?" I turned to the front desk. "Call security." She started pleading, fast and fake. But by the time security showed up, the tears had already started. She made a scene on her way out, yelling that I was a liar, a cheater, that I ruined her life. My manager gave me a nod afterward, didn't even ask questions. Guess they'd seen worse. Later that night, I got a new email. From Bria. But not from her personal account. From her work email. Full company signature, title, and phone number at the bottom. Subject line, legal action. Inside, a wall of garbage about palimony, verbal contracts, and how I could be liable for emotional distress, financial hardship, and property division. Sounded like she copy-pasted it from a bad divorce blog. I didn't reply. I forwarded the entire thing, header, attachments, everything, straight to her company's ethics hotline. Took screenshots just in case. If she was dumb enough to use a corporate account to threaten someone, that wasn't my problem. And just when I thought the freak show was over, Cody called. Blocked number. I picked up without thinking. "You Rick?" he asked, voice low and cocky. "Yeah. You need to fix this. You don't know what she's been through. I helped her when no one else would. She owes me. And now you screwed it all up." I laughed. Out loud. "She doesn't owe you shit. And if you want that charger so bad, you better learn how to make the payments. They're all yours now." He got quiet, then hung up. I stood there, staring at my phone, still smiling. For the first time in weeks, I felt clear. 2 days after Cody's little phone call, I got an alert on my credit monitoring app. New inquiry. Capital One. Credit card application submitted with your SSN. My chest tightened. I hadn't applied for anything. I checked the timestamp. It was filed late the night before. I hadn't used my social anywhere. But Mallory had. She'd helped file my taxes for 2 years straight. Knew my full name, SSN, address, everything. I sat down hard on the edge of my bed, heart pounding. That was the moment I stopped hoping she'd just go away quietly. I filed a police report within the hour. Gave them every piece of info I had, her full name, the date of the application, screenshots of the credit alert. The officer on the phone didn't sound surprised. "Used to live with you?" he asked. "Yeah." "Had access to your paperwork?" "Yup." "All right, we'll open a case. Lock down your credit in the meantime." So I did. Froze everything. Changed every password. Shut down the joint grocery account. And even pulled my tax returns offline. Every file she ever touched got scanned and scrubbed. Then I called Marcus. "Can you look into the student loan again?" I asked. Something's still not right. Marcus didn't hesitate. "Give me a couple hours." When he called back, I was in the garage working on my cousin's Jeep. "Rick," he said. I went deeper. Lay it on me. She hasn't made a student loan payment in over 2 years. She's not in deferment. She's in default. I wiped the grease off my hands and sat down on the floor. Unbelievable. She's been ignoring notices, racked up fees, and her credit scores tanked. But that's not all. Of course it's not. I ran a soft pull on Cody while I was at it. He's got 2 car loans in collections, not just the Charger. Another car before that, both unpaid, plus prior evictions, and at least 3 pending lawsuits tied to unpaid personal loans. I couldn't stop myself from laughing. It was bitter, exhausted, but real. He's a walking wreck, I said. Marcus didn't argue. If you're lucky, you're out clean. But I'd keep an eye out. People like that don't just vanish. They latch. I thanked him, hung up, and sat there staring at the garage wall for a while. It was all so pathetic it didn't even feel real. I pulled up my email, started a new message. No emotion, just facts. To mallory.m.ross@gmail.com. Subject: Your knight in dented armor has some baggage. Attached were screenshots of the credit app fraud alert, the police report case number, and the summary Marcus sent me. Line after line of Cody's screw-ups. The repos, the lawsuits, the evictions, and her student loan report big, bold, and in default. I didn't add a single word to the body, just hit send. Less than 5 minutes later, she replied. You're a monster. That was it. No denial. No excuses. Just pure deflection. I didn't respond. I just sat back in my chair, cracked my knuckles, and finally, let myself feel how damn good it was to stop pretending she ever deserved the benefit of the doubt. It didn't take long for the cracks to show. Mallory missed the next car payment. First time in years. Guess her panic made her sloppy. That Charger loan had already been flagged as high risk, so the bank didn't wait around. The repo guy showed up early Saturday morning. Not at Mallory's place. Cody's. Neighbors said he came with a flatbed and a flashlight. Cody ran out in boxers and socks, screaming about stolen property and, "This is illegal." But the repo guy didn't flinch. Had the papers. Had the right VIN. Had the keys from the bank. Mallory showed up 20 minutes later, still in pajama pants and slippers, clutching a stack of bills like it was going to change anything. I saw the video the next day. A buddy sent it to me with the caption, "Yo, isn't this your ex's ex?" I clicked play. The footage was grainy, filmed from a neighbor's porch. But there it was, the Charger getting dragged onto the flatbed. Cody pacing and yelling, arms flying. Mallory crying, pushing crumpled bills into the repo guy's hand. She shouted something like, "It's just 1100. I'll get the rest." He shook his head and kept hooking the car up. Then Cody turned on her. "You were only good for paying the bills," he shouted, loud enough for the whole block to hear. "That's all you ever were." Her face crumpled. She tried to grab his arm. He shoved her off. The camera caught it all. The clip hit some local Facebook group and bounced around fast. "Charger Karen and her broke-ass man," the title said. Comments exploded. People roasted the hell out of both of them. Screenshots from Mallory's old IG posts even surfaced. Ones where she called herself financially smart and bragged about being debt-free by 30. Bria tried to spin it. She posted on Twitter about toxic exes leaking personal information and women being harassed for having boundaries. It got 2 likes and 1 reply from some dude asking if she was drunk. Then the real blow hit. Her HR department got wind of that email she sent me, the one threatening legal action on Mallory's behalf, from her work account. I didn't even have to follow up. They reached out to me directly. "Thanks for reporting," they said. "We're reviewing internally." By the end of the week, Bria was suspended pending investigation. She tried blaming Mallory, said she'd only written the email because Mallory begged her to, that she didn't mean any of it. Her cousin, the one she swore was basically a lawyer, turned out to be a paralegal in a dental malpractice firm. He flat out refused to touch the palimony claim. "Not my field," he told her. "Also, you don't have a case." Word got back to me that Bria was now trying to get her job back by throwing Mallory under the bus. Mallory, meanwhile, had deleted most of her social media, and was posting vague quotes on private accounts about betrayal and starting over. I didn't say a word, didn't comment, didn't share the video, didn't laugh with the people who tagged me. I just watched it all fall apart exactly the way it should. The police called me back a week later. "Mr. Haynes," the detective said, "we've got enough to move forward with attempted identity fraud charges." I stood in the middle of the garage, holding a wrench in one hand and my phone in the other. Didn't move for a few seconds. "She applied using my social, right?" I asked. "Correct. And you're not the first. We had a previous report from an ex-boyfriend out in Olympia. Same pattern. Used his info to apply for a loan, but he never pressed charges." "Well," I said, setting the wrench down, "I will." And I did. She lawyered up quick. But it didn't matter. The evidence was clean: application timestamp, IP address, her search history. She tried to play the emotional distress angle. Claimed it wasn't malicious, just desperation. DA didn't buy it. Her attorney worked out a plea deal: 18 months probation, restitution for the credit monitoring, and mandatory financial ethics counseling. She took it. About a week after the plea, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it ring, but they left a voicemail. It was her mom, Donna. "Rick," she said, voice tired but clear, "I know you don't owe me a thing, but I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for everything my daughter did to you." She paused, then kept going. "She's done this before. Not to this level, but always for Cody. Always lying to cover his mess. We thought she'd outgrown it. Clearly, we were wrong." The last thing she said stuck with me. "If you'll let me, I'd like to pay you back. For the monitoring. For the trouble. It's the least we can do." I never called her back. I sent a short email instead. "Thank you, Donna. But I don't want your money. I just hope she gets help this time." That was it. Meanwhile, Cody's name started popping up in the dumbest places. A buddy in Spokane texted me a Craigslist screenshot. Cody was trying to rent a room in someone's basement, demanding no credit checks and preferably cash only. Another guy I knew through the shop sent a pic from Facebook Marketplace. Cody was trying to sell off the Charger rims. Claimed they were gently used and barely driven. Comments lit him up. Someone asked, "Didn't that car get repoed on Cedar Avenue?" His response, "Mind your business. People be hatin'." He bounced between couches for a while. Word was even his cousin kicked him out. Apparently, he tried scamming the guy's girlfriend into fronting him gas money. Classic Cody. Mallory stayed quiet after the sentencing. No more texts, no more threats. Just disappeared back into whatever little shell she'd crawled into. And honestly, that silence was the best thing she ever gave me. 3 months later, I was better than fine. I'd signed up for this money management workshop a buddy told me about. Figured if I was going to rebuild, I'd do it smarter this time. No more blind trust. No more just take my word for it nonsense. The class was filled with people who'd been through some kind of financial wreck, bad divorces, business scams, deadbeat partners. First session, we had to go around and share why we were there. I kept mine short. Got burned. Not letting it happen again. There was this woman across the room, maybe early 30s, sharp eyes, quiet smile. Name was Jenna. After class, she came up to me. "Your story," she said, "sounds a little too familiar. I had an ex who used my credit card to buy Bitcoin and then disappeared." I laughed. At least mine just wanted a muscle car. We started talking more after that. Coffee turned into dinner. No pressure, no games. Just real conversations, mostly about the crazy stuff we'd both survived. What surprised me most? She didn't pity me. She respected how I handled it. Said I cut the cord clean. Which made me laugh. Mallory, I heard, was working part-time at her dad's hardware store and living in his basement. Court-mandated therapy, still on probation. Someone I knew ran into her and said she looked tired. Whatever. Bria got officially fired 2 weeks after her suspension. She tried suing the company, said it was retaliation for speaking up, got laughed out of mediation. Now she's folding sweaters at some strip mall clothing outlet, still posting online about how Mallory ruined her life. As for Cody, Still out there chasing whatever sad version of hustle he thinks he's built. I got a LinkedIn request from him, no joke. Captioned, "Exciting new opportunity. Let's connect." I stared at it for a solid minute before hitting ignore. You know, people always say trust is everything in a relationship. And they're right, but not in the way most folks mean it. Because anyone who says trust means not asking questions, they're hiding something,